Hello, happy Sunday to all you beautiful, empowered, arise women. I hope you're taking care of yourself today. As we continue to go through the book, I wanted to take a couple of minutes to do some housekeeping. So, this book is very rich. The tools that she's designed and that she's leading us through go very deep. And you really can't do more than one, two, maybe three tools a week because of the emotions, because of the trauma we've all been through. And so please don't rush. Please don't read it just to read it. I really want everyone to take your time with this book. Take your time with the tools. And every chapter deals with a different topic. So there's a whole chapter on shame. There's a whole chapter on identifying your emotions. The really great thing is that you own this book. So you can come back to those topics anytime. If you come to a point in your life, a season where you're really dealing with grief, there's tools to help with grief. And so I just want you to mostly read the tools, acknowledge that they exist, pick two, maybe three at the most to actually do, and then use this book as a resource on your own to come back to time and time again. Also, if you are working with a therapist and your therapist is not me, make sure your therapist knows that you're going through this book and these tools, and it's something that they can help you with too. That being said, we want to take our time with this book, so I'm going to go ahead and expand book club for this season. Instead of ending in 3 weeks as I had originally planned, we are going to go all the way through September. We are taking off Labor Day weekend, but then we'll pick right back up the following week, and we will celebrate September 27th with a potluck and going over our final chapter. So put that on your calendar. We do have childcare provided. We have 2 amazing childcare workers that come every week to watch your kiddos. So if you are not coming because you have kids at home and you're not sure, please come. Please bring your kids. We feed them. We feed you. We have childcare provided. It's great. And then you get a whole hour to just focus on you. This week, section 4 is called Exploring Your Emotions. So every tool this week was about your emotions. Can you name what you're feeling? Where are you feeling that in your body? What do you do with that emotion? Do you allow yourself to feel your emotions? Do you stuff them? If they're overwhelming and too much, do you container them and kind of piecemeal them out so that you can handle them? So there's a lot of really good tools in this chapter about emotions. Name it to tame it is one of the chapters. Talking about getting to know your emotions. What do you think when you're surprised? What sensations do you have when you're surprised? What behaviors come out of you when you're surprised? She talks about containering, putting stuff in a safe container. And some of these are EMDR exercises. So if you've ever done EMDR, they will be familiar to you. She talks about how being hurt in the past affects our emotions today, and that it's really important to deal with our past trauma and past hurt so that we're not carrying that through every day today and allowing it to interfere with our life now. So that's a really good one. She talks about some of the beliefs we have, some of our early experiences. If you're like me, you might have heard, don't cry or I'll give you something to cry about. That, I understand what was meant by it, by my mother, but now as an adult, it can really mess with your head, right? I do have something to cry about. So there is an exercise for kind of identifying those things that we were brought up with, family culture, and how that influences us today. And then she talks about setting fair expectations for your emotions. Oh, it's such a good one. And then having a safe space. There's an exercise where she asks you to draw your safe space. You can see I drew it really, really well because I'm a very good artist. I didn't even try. I am a journaler. I'm a writer. So instead of drawing my safe space, I journaled about it. And it's funny because I actually used this when I went to the dentist on Monday. I had a cavity filled, which this particular one was the most painful thing I've ever felt in my life. And so I was desperately trying to disassociate and go to my safe space. And in that moment, I found a different safe space than I've ever used before. This one was my grandparents' house when I was little, and just like I could remember the old gold colored shaggy carpet that was so long and so shaggy that you had to rake it with a rake. They had carpet rakes. I can remember the feel of the carpet and the smell of the carpet. And every night, Grandma would load the dishwasher and run the dishwasher, and then we'd go to the living room and have a snack, watch TV together, and I could just remember the sound of the dishwasher in the background and where Grandpa would sit and where Grandma would sit, and like all of those details. I was concentrating really hard because I didn't want to feel the pain in my mouth. So I was able to use this tool, think about my safe space, and then put it into practice right away. So it's really nice to have a safe space mentally to go to, because we don't always have a safe space physically that we can go to. Another tool is called RAIN. And RAIN is where you recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. You recognize what you're feeling, you allow it to happen, you investigate, why am I feeling this? Why am I acting this way? And then you nurture it, nurture yourself. This is coming from a place inside of myself that maybe needs some attention. So give it some attention. So that's RAIN. Window of tolerance. This is such a great concept. I put 2 books in our group chat that talk about window of tolerance by the lady who invented it, wrote books about it, came up with it. And window of tolerance is like that place where you are safe, you are calm, you're able to handle whatever comes after you. And sometimes we fall out of our window of tolerance, hypo-arousal, where we just want to sleep all the time and not deal with stuff. Other times it kicks into fight or flight, hyper-arousal. And so it's a really good study if you've never studied window of tolerance. And there's a tool in here that talks about it. And then she talks about how to expand your window of tolerance, how to give yourself a little more room to be healthy and stable before we slip into one side or the other of the ditch, and some tools to expand your window of tolerance that I love are singing, humming, dancing, journaling, but she gives you a whole list. And one thing I wanted to point out on here that I had never thought of before, and I think it's so great. She said, notice the signs of safety around you. Notice the things that are safe. Oh, it's so good. I want to notice my safety more and more and more. Write a glimmer journal, or I call them wins. Every time you have a win, write it down. It's okay to be emotional. Oh yeah, this exercise too is one of my favorites. Making your own playlist. Of course, I think we probably all have our own playlists, but specifically a window of tolerance playlist, the music that you like to listen to when you're peaceful and you're in a good mood and you're in your happy spot, those songs. And then also a hyper or hypo arousal playlist, those songs that you need to listen to when you just want to shut the world off or when you're fighting and fleeing. So those songs, a lot of us like worship songs in those areas that kind of bring us back to our window of tolerance, bring us back to our center, bring us back to Jesus, really. But I love playlists, I love music, so that one was great for me. Somebody else in the group today mentioned the tool on page 68 was really helpful to her, and it's the tool that talks about you are worthy of feeling great. You're worthy of feeling great. Oh my gosh. If you don't know that, do the tool on page 68. And then there's one for connecting with your grief. And then we took a few minutes at the end of class to look ahead to section 5 because I don't know how you all are using this book, but I get to the book like around Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'm like, oh man, there's a tool that started on Monday. I can't use that tool because it's the end of the week. And then I just feel like I'm behind and I'm playing catch up. So today, what we did in group and what I challenge you to do is go ahead and look at next week, look at chapter 5 today, and then decide which 2, maybe 3 tools you want to do, because there are some that start on Monday. So if you want to do your tool all week long, you need to look at it today. So go ahead and read pages 72 to 75 today and do those pages for sure. And then on top of that, pick 1 or 2 more tools throughout chapter 5 to do this week. And this week, chapter 5, what we're going to talk about on Sunday is all about self-care. What is it? How do you do it? How do you get it into your schedule? Can you do it with other people? All those things. So, self-care week. Enjoy the week. Thanks for listening to me. I hope you all can make it on Sunday.